Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, it's a second video update today with a lot of wild price action still continuing here in this market, with the main crazy event happening out there is with Bitcoin obviously being back at these yearly lows that we're at right now, and what's going on there with UST, Terra, USD, and Luna. Now, as Bitcoin is back down here at these lows, I posted over there on Twitter. We'll talk about this real quick. I would guess, my speculation guess is if Bitcoin does dip down below there, I'm going to bet there's a bunch of stop losses underneath here, in which things would start getting moving pretty quick. Now, will it do it? I don't know if it will actually get down below there right now. We can look to the market. The market is already capitulating before we've even gotten there, right? So is there going to be more capitulation happening out of there? Is that the final flush, or does it start bouncing from right in here? I don't know, but I would suspect if we get below that low right there, there's probably stop losses down in there, which stop losses are auto-triggering. They're algorithmic triggers of if-then statements. If price gets here, then perform this action, such as sell or buy. So a big flush can happen because of automatic selling, not traders panicking, but automatic selling. So I would highly suspect there's probably some of those underneath here, underneath these lows. Many times these things can come down here and just grab all the liquidity that sits right down underneath there and then pop themselves back up. But many times that can be the triggering point to get things going really fast. I don't know what's going to happen right there. It is a very wild time in the market, and there's a lot of elements out there that are unusually happening right now, in particular with UST. And then we're going to also take a look over at Tether as well, USDT. Now, as many of you probably know by now, I would think if you've been on Twitter or watched YouTube at all, that Terra USD or UST has depegged itself from the United States dollar. Terra USD is the number 11th ranked crypto in the cryptocurrency market, even being at 69 cents right now as a stablecoin. Prior to this, it was higher up on the list, but this is also related to Luna and the Luna Foundation and the Luna token as well, which has also been massively impacted. There's been a bug, there's been an exploit over here in Terra USD and in Luna, in which after a 100,000% bull run for Luna, it has collapsed on itself with all the problems that they're having in there and all the supply that they've added. Just in the last day, they've added 145% supply to Luna. So they're doing everything they can to try to get this back to a $1 peg. But they've been unsuccessful so far for the last few days. Really, this thing started to kind of meander away from that dollar price right here on May 9th. So 2 days ago, right? And it just started meandering a little bit. It's kind of like, all right, I've seen kind of these things before. I guess you could really say it kind of started back here on May 7th. Okay, a little bit of meandering, 99.4, 99.5, but then things started really unfolding quickly. And well, we could see what's happening now. It's just not able to maintain it anymore. And this is a unique circumstance. I've never been through a circumstance like this before in the cryptocurrency market, or what it means for the broader market. Never seen this happen before in the years that I've been here, especially with something so big as UST. But we could see that Tether is doing something odd as well. And this is kind of alerting me because we haven't seen this before. And it's kind of like, what does this mean? So now if we look back through Tether and how Tether has been before, we can see Tether can sometimes have fluctuations. It doesn't sit here and stay directly on $1 the whole time. Many times these wicks can come down here where it deviates away from $1 and it can deviate away up from $1. But typically it's kind of like in this 0.1% range of $1. But the reason why this is kind of alerting to me is simply because of what we just saw happen over there on UST. I have no idea what would happen to the cryptocurrency market if this thing starts to act crazy. I don't know what impact it would have being at an $82 billion asset, which is much bigger than the 13 or 14 over here for Terra USD. What is that, like 5 or 6 times bigger? And what that would actually mean for a cryptocurrency asset. So Terra USD is going to be way more impacting on Luna. But what about USDT? I don't know. And again, we could look at this, right? This is on Coinbase. We could look at this and just say, maybe just like an API issue happening in here for this to act all kind of wonky like this. But you could see in these times, right? These are just like wicks that are dipping down in here. But this is some odd stuff happening in here. And if we take a look at it over like on Binance US, right? What's happening over here on Binance US? So this is more of kind of like a a kind of just drain down happening in here. And looking over here, yeah, that's a little different too. Again, look, we get down to these things all the time. Look, you can see back here in January of 2020. You can see it in February of 2020. We could hang out down in here for a long time. And what are we at? 99.82 cents. So we're not like significantly off of a dollar. But the fact that we just saw something odd happening over there with UST, I'm all like, on alert, right? Like, what does this possibly mean in here? We got Bitcoin back on its yearly support. We got UST acting all wonky. We have altcoins capitulating. Is something happening over here with Tether as well? And I have no idea, but I'm looking at that, and that's unusual behavior for what has been happening in here for the last several months, right? We go back here. This is the start of 2022. Whoops, there's something a little bit different happening in here. Again, it's at 99.81, so these are just ticks, but, you know, we can see this over here, right? You get these whacks up, and then they pull back down, but I don't know. It's weird to me, and of course, I'm on edge right now because of what I just saw with UST. I don't know how to interpret this. I don't know whether or not it has, you know, contagion impacts, or if this is going to end up being anything, or are we just doing something like happened right back in here, and then whomp, it whoops itself right back into place, right? But this certainly has me feeling a little bit just questioning this. I don't know if this is going to whip back up, and it doesn't mean anything at this point. But after that, yeah, just not feeling all that comfortable about what that could mean, because, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean Tether's going to just like lose itself. But we do know that, you know, when this thing started, how did it start, right? It was sitting here at $1. What did it do? It eventually went down a little bit over a cent. It went down 1.5 cents and then kind of stabilized, but it was never able to get back to that dollar. And after losing 1.5 cents, that's where, you know, things just kind of started to not get in control. If we were to say, where is Tether right now in relation to this? Tether at 9981 is like it's sitting right here, right? So it's like this has happened right here. Do those things happen? They do happen. That kind of variation does happen with these stable coins. But, you know, what we've just saw happen over here with UST is a little bit odd. And I wanted to point that out to you with Tether. And, you know, I've been in this game for long enough. I'm never about the USDT scares. There's always been them in every single downward move we've ever had in crypto that I can think back on. There's always been the Tether scare, always. And so I'm not here to be the guy to like sound the alarm of worry for Tether, worry for Tether. The thing that has me worried is, why did we just see all of this happen over here on UST, which self-destructed Luna? And looking for through the year of 2022, why has Tether suddenly dipped down here in the last day? So I don't know what it means. I'm not here to be like, panic everybody, but I also don't know what it means. I don't know if it means nothing and if it's just part of the standard, you know, volatility that happens over here on Tether, or is it something more than that? But certainly after seeing what happened with UST, I'm kind of like not comfortable with something like that, right? So wanted to point it out to you, and whether or not this could end up being some type of risk in the market, I don't know. So it's uncomfortable out there as Bitcoin's back at these lows right now. And that Tether stuff's a little bit interesting that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on very closely after what has happened with UST. So if we see that Bitcoin does take out the lows down in here, the yearly lows, I am prepared that there is likely going to be a big cascading effect that happens in here after that. So fingers crossed that does not happen and we can hold those things. But it's been a weird couple of days in this market with what's been happening with these stable coins. So we'll see how the day plays out. But it's capitulation city out there right now. I know these times are tough. I've been through a lot of these before. They never feel good. My portfolio is not feeling good right now. I totally am right there. But keeping an eye on Bitcoin there at the lows. And if it takes out that floor, yikes, we'll see how things end up moving. And keeping an eye over there on Tether. That's something I haven't seen before. It makes me uncomfortable because I've never seen something like that before. So hopefully that thing settles down and it's a non-issue and we can get through this moment and everything becomes rainbows and sunshines again. But it's about getting through this moment right now and seeing how these things pan out. So I'll catch you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick me up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.